good evening from Third Wave to In with Maeve. We're back with you for the next 8 weeks, and I hope you'll stay in with me, Mavis Nicholson. I'm delighted to welcome you to the series. I'll be meeting people with experiences that are relevant to all of us, and I'm particularly interested in dealing with those things which present us with challenge. In tonight's programme, it's the challenge that many of us have to face in our own homes. Alzheimer's disease arrives uninvited. I'll be talking in the studio with my sister Sylvia Bartlett about its impact on our own family. But first, tonight's film, in which I'm the guest of Ewart and Diana Myers, a couple who've had to respond to the distressing demands of this ruthless illness. Let's trace through what's happened to you. You and Diana have been married how long?
47 years next week.
And a close and happy marriage.
Yes, we've been very lucky.
When did she actually start having signs of Alzheimer's?
Well, I suppose it must have been about 9 years ago. There were signs of forgetfulness, and we went to our local GP, who prescribed some pills, which Diana at that time wittily said were good for my memory because I remembered to give them to her, but it didn't seem to do anything for her memory. But I suppose it was about a year after that that we got referred to the Royal Free, where Diana was examined, and a man whose name I forget now said that Alzheimer's disease couldn't be ruled out, which I think was about all he could have said at that time. I think it's a very useful thing for people who have friends or relations with Alzheimer to recognize at the outset that there is at present no cure, and not to flail about with a sort of neurotic activism, as I heard somebody call something quite different, looking for cures, because it is well established that as now there is no cure.
There's hope.
Yes, there is hope.
But there's none at the moment, is
There's
what you're
no
saying.
hope for my generation,
Right.
I think I must say. There's
Yes.
no hope for my generation.
Right, that's a marvellous
Yes,
Excellent.
that will be one of
Yeah.
them.
Where did you two meet?
We met, we were both in the forces. Diana was in the ATS and I was in the RAF in a small way. And I proposed to Diana the first night I arrived at her farm, although I determined I wouldn't, and she refused me. And I proposed again in Drizzle at the top of Breeden Hill, and she accepted. And we walked down the hill to have a drink in a pub, and I was bitten by a dog.
Do you remember this? Do you remember this?
Of course I remember.
Did you start to feel shame? Because a lot of people, that's the very first thing they do. Let's hide this. This is something, we don't want to face.
Well, there is the stigma of mental illness, I suppose, or there certainly was, very, very marked, I suppose, in my parents' generation and before. In old psychological books, you will see references to the family was tainted, and that is because, Uncle George had ended up...
Gone a bit balmy.
Gone a bit... Excellent, yes, just the thing. And, of course, people who had Alzheimer's disease in my father's generation, my parents' generation, would have been put into a mental home, whatever the cliche expression was of the age.
Have you found that it's overwhelmingly sad?
Well, yes, it is overwhelmingly sad, because as I see Diana, or for that matter any Alzheimer's patient's situation, they're as if they are having a nightmare, that they do not know what is happening, nobody talks to them sensibly, or they can't make sense out of what people say. Diana, in particular, has moments of ghastly lucidity when she says, I don't even know who I am. I can't do anything anymore. I'm no use to anybody. And she's quite right that she's no use to anybody. She has all her life been incredibly useful, and she has never filled her time with nothing. And of course, I've had good friends who said, well, can't you occupy her with a jigsaw? Well, Diana wouldn't think of touching a jigsaw.
It doesn't seem to go even with character, though, does it? It's really weird. I mean, the disease doesn't seem to know what to do with a personality quite. Because, you know, some people who've been mild men
Yes.
all their lives are suddenly aggressive. People who've never sworn swear.
Yes.
They spit, they kiss you all the time. It's all sorts of different ways that
Yes.
the disease takes you. And it's nice when somebody like yourself is coping, because I wonder how you do, because so many people can't go on looking after the person that they've loved with it, can they?
What, because of the emotional strain?
Yes.
Well, I see that's what I'm there for.
Yes.
You know, who else?
Yes.
Would you like some more, Mavis?
No, thank you.
You've
I was
got-
just having a look at this plate, as a matter of
right.
fact, that your mother had
Right.
made.
You can see the granny's mark on the bottom.
Oh, yeah, what is it?
It's a delta.
Delta. Diana.
D.
Oh,
Very
D
fine.
for... Oh, yes. That's nice. That's lovely. I've just seen your name at the bottom, the D and the...
It's very clever.
I suppose one of the ways in which it manifested itself, because Diana was a very good and active studio potter, was that she became, I'm talking about 5 years ago or more, she became obsessed with pottery. And instead of a meal being ready, she would be up to her elbows in clay. And a number of things happened. I thought, what's happened to our marriage? We haven't really talked about anything for a year. We continued the various family jokes, and we were friendly, but we hadn't actually talked constructively about anything. But I don't think I thought that she was being cussed.
But that was your first sign, then, of her sort of slightly drawing away? Because that's exactly what happened to my father. It was an absent feeling, and I kept saying to my mother, have I done something wrong? He just didn't seem to volunteer any information to me. You know, he didn't come towards me anymore.
No.
And I...
There may have been that. I mean, an early manifestation was when we were sailing, Diana used to go beachcombing, and she would get lost. Walking along a beach, she wouldn't know to turn round and come back.
She's totally dependent on you now.
Yes, I'm afraid so. Yes, absolutely. And she nonetheless, whatever I may have said, is an independent thinker. And I think she may find it, I don't know that she does find it difficult being dependent on me, because I don't know that she sees that she's being dependent on me. No, I don't think she sees it. And bless her, sometimes she'll say, well, I hope you enjoyed your meal. I cooked it specially for you. And I say, yes, thanks ever so. It was great.
And you'd cooked it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I should digress here and express my distrust of the truth-mongers who say you should never let an Alzheimer patient get away with speaking an untruth, or you should not agree with an untruth. You should get round it in some way, like saying, well, you peeled the potatoes, which was true. I think this is absolute nonsense.
You go along with it. You just go along with what
Yes.
that person wants.
Yes.
I think that's quite right.
Yes.
It agitates. It agitated my
Yes.
father to be corrected.
Yes. And whatever has happened, within 10 seconds it's forgotten anyway.